going to be PXG taking this first
Sita
set.
is your second team to qualify.
Secure their spot.
Looking gets the
Heel, but
qualification
taking on the
just
Splat
like
World
that.
Series again.
Crickets is looking at qualification.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Global Gauntlet Rewound, where we are taking a look at all the matches from Global Gauntlet number 2 that were not featured on stream. I am DRF, joined by the one and only Neptune. We have another fantastic matchup for you all today. Neptune, let's get started with our first team.
Definitely. Let's look at our first team here, which is going to be Crickets here. Now, the immediate two members that jump out to me are going to be Kiki and Silver, as they are members of EZMD who have qualified before. And then looking at these other two members here, Mito especially catches my eye, as I believe they're a sub that often plays with other Western players as well. Known for the slosher, but has been known to flex to other things here. But DRF, do you want to cover Jay?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, Jay has played in the Splat World Series before. You know, they played with new meta in the past, and now they're jumping into this Crickets roster, trying to give them a little bit of a boost on the back line.
Yeah, for sure. This is quite a strong roster that's coming out to play as well. I'm a little concerned about the paint as well, but we'll see. Mino is a flex. We'll see a lot of different other options. I believe we're going to be seeing Zinc Mini played quite a bit as well. But let's move on to our other team, which is going to be Vacuum World here. Full and of quite amazing talent here. The two members that stick out to me is going to be Samurai Kasato as well, because they're returning back from SWS last year as they placed second place famously for their leader as well. And then Chiaki, which was with Emperor, and Global Gauntlet won, and that was insane because they didn't drop a single game on that roster, DRF.
Yeah, and I mean, that roster that they played with was absolutely loaded with Negora and Lobster. I mean, just a crazy roster here. So it's awesome to see Chiaki back with a bunch of new folks that were on a couple of other teams. So this is quite the new look team that we have out of Vacuum World.
Yeah, it's a new team, but not a new group, essentially, because they won Area Cup 58 together as well. The 58th edition of Area Cup is quite an accomplishment, a feather under your cap here, but I guess it's just a normal Tuesday or Wednesday, wherever that takes place as well. But it's going to be quite interesting looking at Utan especially, because they're a new face. Everyone out here we've seen and played before and have plenty under their belt, but Utan is definitely going to be showing up what they have with that NZAP DRF.
And that 4K X power. I mean, that's definitely going to be another thing that stands out here as well. So maybe a little bit new, but definitely going to be a very big focal point going into this set. Speaking of which, we are ready to get started with the first bans of the set. And right off the bat, Neptune, Vacuum World banning Urchin Underpass and Pump Back Pump Track.
That is no surprise if you have seen, what maps Vacuum World loves. They love the E-Leader favorite stuff and striking Urchin out immediately. And then, going to Museum here as your random stage. This is a E-Leader's playground here, DRF.
It certainly is. And one of the big things that's always notable about Museum de Alfonsino is how committal you have to be to charge into mid and contest that zone. You're going to see these teams also really press onto each other's plats to kind of assert their dominance over each other. So keep an eye on those two keys to victory for either of these teams as we jump in. And there is that Zinc Mini that we did talk about going into this one to give a little bit of that extra paint support for Crickets.
Paint support is definitely going to be necessary, especially with weapons like the Stamper and the Custom Blaster, who are very selfish with how they like to paint as well. But immediately, you see how many angles we're having and taking. Coolers immediately out, and now it's just go. We have a member down, trade for trade, pick for pick, but it looks practically even here, DRF.
Yeah, it's a little bit even to start. You know, Crickets may have control of the zone, but it's Vacuum World that has both the player advantage and the special economy, and they're going to utilize that to flip the zone back in their favor. Took a little bit of time to get there, but they do claim it.
Yeah, Negidora then has been looking for that pick with the roller, but unfortunately gets caught out as well. We do have Silver going for the Zipcaster, trying to get Kasato as well. Manages to get it. That is a massive pick. Both leaders are not going to be able to do much here as well. But now you set up here with the Zig Mini and be able to get the zone here, Dira.
And it's a very even state here as Maruo is able to find a nice double. Looking for the third on Chiaki. Teammate's going to come in and clean that one up. So this is an opportunity now for Crickets as they get out of the penalty, and now they claim the lead. It's still early in this one, but Jay comes up with a nice pick there. And now the vacuum has to come out for Vacuum World, and they have to pop that bubble as well, able to find that trade, but it is a hotly contested zone once again.
It's a highly contested zone, and this combination of the vac and the bubble is something that just creates so much space and just basically gives you the enemy team a say, hey, how do you deal with a massive HP ball, which is essentially get the kills immediately so they don't have a chance to do anything afterwards. And now you're kind of in this dicey situation here if you're Vacuum World, looking for find something. The splashdown comes out to call out that roller, and look at this, dear, a beautiful wipeout, hopefully looking to close it out here.
Crickets on the cusp of a KO. Silver makes the jump onto Plat, trying to see if they could shark out anybody that tries to make a last-minute move, but no, it's going to be them going down. But can Vacuum World neutralize in time? Yes, they do. Plus the flip. Talk about timing, Neptune. Vacuum World comes in clutch and lives up to the name to flip the zone and extend the game.
Absolutely living up to their name and coming in clutch here. And now you're gonna have to give it to Kasato as well, trying to get these amazing E-leader picks as well, as that's definitely gonna send a lot of members on Cricket's back on the back foot here as well. But look at this, DRF. We're getting all these amazing picks. Another E-leader shot rings out, another one rings out, and two members are dead.
Oh, Kasato, please! Oh, have mercy! I mean, now we see Vacuum World just absolutely running circles around this zone, and it looks like Cricket's now trying to make a little bit of a desperation play, able to neutralize the zone at least a little bit, but Silver not able to find the picks that they were looking for, but it does cause just enough of a disruption that the rest of the team is able to come in and flip the zone. So stopped right in time there. Crickets hold on to the lead, and they are able to continue working on this penalty, see if they can find a knockout in this last 90 seconds.
Dude, if you want to knock out here, you got to find this roller really quickly, because if that roller is found and they know where it is, you can play around it here. And you can kind of see this, we're in a bit of a dicey situation here with the 96 Scout being able to pop back immediately on landing to protect their jump here. We're not filling it up here because we don't want to give it a chance to flip the zone here as well. But hey, look at this, DRF. We have a lot of space here. One member down on Crickets, but is it going to be enough here?
I'm not sure, but the numbers are even between these two, and there's that crucial roller pick you were just talking about, Neptune. That was the cherry on top for Crickets to secure game number 1 and take the early lead in this set.
Early lead just puts so much pressure on the enemy to be able to respond accordingly. While you were able to clutch up there if you were Vacuum World and be able to remain in the game, it still puts a lot of pressure on you. You have to hold that zone and take it all the way down to be able to knock out and win the game. And Cricket's realizing that they took their time. They realized what their win condition was, which was spotting that roller and calling out the 96 where they wanted to push and be able to finish that accordingly. Nicely wrapped on a bow right there, DRF.
Yeah, they executed that back half very well. They got some really, strong pushback there from Vacuum World, and it seemed like that they were going to close in on that lead, but managed to, snake their way through, find a couple of picks that were needed, and despite the paint disadvantage, they were able to secure the picks necessary. And now we get a couple more bans on the board. We're going to get Eeltail Alley and Brine Water Springs out of the way. Vacuum World going to make the selection.
Vacuum World is going to be picking something that's probably going to be favorable for them, and I believe striking those two maps does limit the number of maps that E-Leader is going to be very dominant on. But hey, there's plenty of maps, DRF, that Leader is definitely viable on, and Barnacle and Dime is no exception here. There's so much flat ground, and as long as your Leader is set up, mid is basically yours if the Leader can hit their shots, and Kasato was not one to let that fly at all.
Yeah, and E-Leader, it's just when it's present, it really is the focal point of any composition. And you're so right that Barnacle and Dime is going to continue to enable the E-Leader. But I think it's also a really strong map for the roller as well. There's a lot of flat ground for the roller to be able to shark around, and we're gonna see a bit of an opportunity here. But of course, as I say that, Negitorodon runs out of ink and is unable to secure the pick, and that is the green light for Crickets to move up, capitalize on this 3-down situation, and put a little pressure on Kasato, but Kasato is going to be able to respond with a pick of their own, and that's going to help their team take back control of their stack and put some pressure on this zone.
Yeah, definitely. And you were talking about earlier how just the presence of leader can scare off. Look at how much we backed up here and how much space we gave because we're afraid of getting picked off by a leader. And now we have a vac and roller combo here, dueling it out here. Hopefully looking to come out on top. You do manage to get the pencil, but can you find this Zapper? No, you find everyone, dear.
Oh, and Negitorodon said, hey, I might have whiffed the first one, but this time I'm going to make up for it, and they made up for it indeed, finding a 2-for-1 special there. And now it's Vacuum World that takes the lead going into the end of this first 90 seconds here. So we've already had some solid back and forth early on in this game, but now Crickets, with the special economy favoring them as well, they're going to be able to make a solid push into the zone here. If they can stay alive, that is, as Vacuum World it finds 2 very crucial picks, and they're going to actually maintain control, Neptune.
Yeah, for sure. That splash shot got eaten up by that vacuum as well. And we do have a bit of a flank here coming out from Midu as well. And this is just going to be insane. Just being able to capitalize off these situations and not allow anything to go through. The roller picks from Negitorodon just are absolutely wild here. And wow, DRF, we thought the E-Leader was going to be the star of the show. No, it was that roller here. I guess we're used to seeing roller plus leader played out quite often and coming out on top.
Yeah, you and I definitely have a lot of experience talking over that combination, and here it is no exception. Both just really had strong presence on that zone and on Barnacle and Dime. They both flourish here. It was the perfect counter pick for Vacuum World, and we saw exactly why. The range, presence, and pressure, and that just enables the roller to hold forward and go and find those picks, get behind enemy lines, and make Cricket's life as difficult as possible. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished indeed, but Mino almost pulled it back there at the very end there. A flank from the Zinc Mini could have been devastating as well. Just needed a little bit more time, a little bit more presence there, but it was just called out just a little bit too late there, DRF. That game could have swung either way. It's just the roller just shut the door really fast. Where I gotta give my feathers and my flowers to Neki Itorodon. Just wow, a good roller player definitely holds the pace of a match right there, and I think they're gonna do it again here on Mako Mart.
Yeah, Mako Mart, certainly an interesting counter pick here, that we're going to see from Crickets. So, as the description sort of says, they previously kind of referred to as a final destination type map. So I'm really interested to see how, these two teams jump into this, especially because there really isn't going to be a whole lot of composition adjustments. And of course, as I say that, we're actually going to get the Try Nouveau coming out, which is a fantastic adjustment here from Vacuum World, because that Try Nouveau really can do a lot of damage on those stacks, especially if you can try to get up on one of those side alleys and really surprise the backline. That Try could do a lot of damage.
Definitely, and that's going to be Utan on the Tri-Slasher as well, being able to combo with the other weapons especially and set up their team for success right here. I do love the high ground that they're taking as well, and looking to set up this roller. I feel like we just have a lot of weapons that can just kind of end fights quickly. They already start and end as they begin. A Silver comes out on top, getting that crucial melee pick and securing space for their team.
Yeah, Silver doing a great job here of just continuing to be aggressive, applying some pressure, making things a little bit difficult for Vacuum World, but it's Negitorodon that's going to shut down the Zipcaster before it could even really get started. And now that is an opportunity for Vacuum World to move up, claim the zone. They start establishing themselves on the Cricket stack, and Negitorodon is able to start watching that the plat as well, but does get shut down there. So this now being the opportunity for the splashdown to come out and help flip this zone. So, you know, nice little back and forth once again early in this one. A couple of trades on top of that, and Crickets are back in control.
Crickets are back in control right now, but definitely you do not want to keep trading out here. That back is going to come up online and going to be able to help that roller. Look at this here, a combo Trident and True, and Negitorodon just pops the bubble immediately after. I feel like they just cycle these specials just so quickly and so quickly as well. It's just unbeatable at this point when you're able to just force your way through mid.
Bubble coming out a little bit early there to protect the stack for Crickets. Everybody huddling around it, and it's going to be Negitorodon that tries to make the move, but gets shut down. Crickets holding on to control, able to find that second pick. The try with a beautiful shark there, able to find the back line, but can't get out in time. Kiki going to shut them down. So now Kiki trying to see if they can make a play here. No more penalty for Crickets. And now that helps them to be just a little bit more aggressive here. Splashdown coming out, is able to find Chiaki, but Kiki gonna go down in response. And now Crickets continues to ride this wave of momentum as the trade favors them, but they run out of a couple of members here. And this is the chance for Vacuum World to neutralize the zone. They will, plus the flip and some more time added on the board for this game.
Yeah, for sure. Crickets was playing that situation absolutely perfectly, being able to force out the vacuum from Chiaki as well. And now Utan's on this flank as well, being able to help Chiaki as well. Just look at this 96 DRF, just does not care, will just swim up in your face to tap you and then have a vac behind. This is so constricting here for Crickets.
It is, as now Vacuum World really pressing on the gas here. Chiaki with a nice little move there to keep their position, keep the pressure up. There is no response from Chiaki in the spawn of Crickets, and they're still going, finally gonna get shut down, but the stall tactic was enough, and that's gonna do it. Vacuum World secures the wipeout and the KO to take the lead in this set.
Wow. Absolutely insane right there. I don't know if I was just watching Splatoon or we're watching some dance lessons, because that was some fancy footwork there from Chiaki at the end of the day. Being able to just basically move around the opponents, baiting shots for their team to be able to show up and then buy enough time to capitalize off that. I've seen that before, but not like this. Not like this, dear.
Chiaki was getting fancy with it. I mean, you saw those moves, like, man, I gotta take a lesson or two, because, man, that was just clean. They did such a good job, and, you know, like we were saying, I mean, it really, at the end of the day, was a distraction. Crickets could not get them out. It didn't matter if they were alive, they were trying to get the pick, but they just needed Chiaki out of there. And Chiaki was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. Like, now you see me, now you don't. And it went on long enough to waste Cricket's time and their opportunities. So now Vacuum World finds themselves up 2-1 in this set. Couple more bad stages coming your way.
I couldn't have said it better myself, DRF. Just being able to quickly recognize those situations and just buy time for your team in those last couple of moments was absolutely critical to closing out that game. Banning Marlin and Undertow is quite interesting there as well, but I'm going to see what we're going here for game 4. Well, we're going to be going to Hagglefish instead here. A little bit of a hiccup right there as well. But this is going to be Cricket's counter pick. Something more familiar and found here. But again, I feel like it's going to be, how do I say it? Not just something you have to watch out for Wolf Roller and Leader. You also have to watch out for that 96. And if they start doing those fancy footwork moves again in your spawn, I don't know if you're going to be able to spawn fast enough, dear.
Yeah, that is going to be a crucial point for Crickets to watch out for here, as we do get the adjustment back to the end zap here. Chiaki gonna continue to hold that 96, keep that footwork going, and Negitorodon and the E-leader combination, I mean, that's going to be just continuing to be a focal point here for Vacuum World.
Definitely, and I feel like Crickets is struggling a lot on the entryways, especially when that sniper is going to be able to get so many picks here. But no, look at this, 96 already up in your face, does not care about anything, immediately scares off. No, we're coming back for him, okay? I don't know what exactly we're trying to do, but we have the fake outs of the sentry to allow your team to get a triple at the end of the day. Chiaki constantly recognizing these situations, playing the bait and switch better than no one else.
Chiaki is just playing with their food now. They know exactly what is messing with Cricket's heads, and they are just continuing to go at it. So seeing if they can just continue to create headaches. Look, like now getting behind enemy lines, forcing them to commit resources backwards. And now they're going to get the pick plus the jump out. That's just filthy.
It's filthy indeed, and now you do the back and bubble dance one more time here, you know, same verse as the same as the second verse here as well, but definitely have to give credit here to Crickets as well, being able to find their entry points in. It's just they cannot find a stick or a place to be able to hold their momentum or their space here, because they have to watch so many different angles, but they can't go through the main angle because of Kasato on the E-leader.
Yeah, and that does really make it difficult. You know, they're trying their best to kind of take some of these off angles. Kiki trying to go up this left alley, but not really finding anything, realizing that they're alone, possibly walking to the 1v4, the jump out. They're going to try to hit the reset button, get everybody back in line, and start pushing in together. Bubble coming out in a nice position here from Ottawa to help their team move on up, flip that zone, put that penalty on, and now they're trying to see if they can follow it up with some more picks, but no, that's not going to be the case. A bubble of their own allows Vacuum World to flip the zone back in their favor, and Chiaki already trying to get under that canopy, but gets called out real quick by Silver this time.
Yeah, Silver doing what they do best and hit those stamper shots and forward here, being able to call out this, but you're not going to be able to quite finish off that roller, which now with your pencil down, you're kind of strapped for paint really quick here. It's just Silver trying to hold the front line, prevent anyone from going further, as well as trying to avoid the E-leader that is Kasato, who's already up in mid and gets Silver anyways, DRF.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Silver just stuck out a little bit too much, and Kasato said, "Nah, you are not approaching this zone." And look at this four-person front that Vacuum World is holding. And now the back comes out as well, looking to clean things up and force their way to a KO. Negitoro gonna pop the bubble as the last line of defense here. Kiki gonna make one last-ditch effort to try and flip the zone, but it's not going to be enough. Vacuum World going to secure the 3-1 victory.
Wow, just a masterclass showing in how you controlled the whole center of Haggle right there. It felt like we had a couple moments from Crickets being able to push forward there, and we saw them get some really crucial picks. It's just, what do you do afterwards, right? They invest so many specials. I believe Zip, I saw the bubble as well as the splashdown all come out at once, and what did that get them? Barely past mid. They just simply said, okay, if you click all three of your specials, we're just going to click ours in a chain in a little bit of an order, a little bit of a dance routine. Again, we're going back to that analogy here. First you follow up with the vacuum, then you follow up with the bubble. You basically close out any chance of them being able to get anywhere near that zone, and you just play that accordingly. You played them, how do I say it, right into your own palms, I guess. I don't know how else you'd say that, Dira.
Yeah, you know, it really seemed like that Vacuum World was controlling the pace of that last game, as they really did these last couple of games. And anytime that Crickets, they had to come up with a response, but Vacuum World was ready with a response of their own every single time. And I think that's really what worked out for them in these last three games, that they managed to just completely take over and run away with this set.
Yeah, for sure. But I also got to give my flowers to Crickets as well, because I feel like they had good positioning. They had the right ideas. It's just, you could only do so much when you have a stamper and a blaster you need to support. And the idea that both these weapons are very selfish in their own right, and you have people that are pulling your attention like Chiaki, who's just coming up to your spawn, pushing the pencil back, going forward back for the other team, but then quickly turns around, puts more pressure, and then now you don't know where to look, and now you just got tripled, and now you're on the respawn timer. It's a sad story if you are Crickets, but a new one if you are Vacuum World.
Yeah, and Silver did a really great job of addressing that, you know, Chiaki-sized elephant in the room in that last game, but it just was not quite enough. But nonetheless, Vacuum World going to walk away with the 3-1 victory. So that is going to do it for this set. There is plenty more Global Gauntlet Rewound videos to watch here on the IPL channel. I have been DRF, joined by the one and only Neptune, and we will see you all next time.